Yes, hello everyone. Yeah, this is my channel, and today we are going to talk about a term paper of my project of externalization of AI. Yes, at first we're going to give a brief introduction about externalization in AI. So in recent years, a lot of information has increased over time, and this growth has caused need to come up with such projects of externalization because a lot of text comes up and needs to be summarized uh, to get the basic information or the basic idea about the information. So researchers have come up with natural language processing uh, text summarization techniques that can condense long documents into shorter and ideological text that can be used by an individual. So in this term paper, we aim at talking about text summarization, of course. Yeah, exploring the different methods we used to come up with this project, how text summarization has affected the entire world. Yeah, so when we proceed here, we're going to give a brief background of text summarization. So as we talked about text summarization in the first slide, so between 1950 to the early 2000s, yeah, they used to use complex sets for of handwriting rules. Yeah. So over time, in the 1990s to the 2000s, then they came up with machine learning algorithms. Yeah. So in the current era here, we are using neural natural language processing. Yeah, which we are going to use in this project. So as we said that the increasing information has caused the need to come up with text summarization. So here, a study from the International Data Corporation came up with a study that assumed that the information that all the data that will be used in the world over annually will increase from 4.4 zettahertz to 180 zettahertz from 2013 to 2025. So with that, we will come up with such projects to basically summarize the information to bring out the important idea that the text is all about. So here, when we go to our next slide, we're talking about the literature review. So in the literature review, we basically talk about the, the supervised learning techniques and the unsupervised learning techniques. So the supervised learning techniques, here the model is trained with data, with a lot of data. So this a lot of data is what the model uses uh, then to summarize information. So with the unsupervised learning techniques, here we don't rely on the data. Here we rely on the patterns between the data to come up with a model. Yeah. So uh, supervised learning techniques, yeah, may be more accurate and reliable, but they consume a lot of time and require a lot of information. Yes, so there may be disadvantages in some way like that. And for the unsupervised, it may be fast and more scalable, but it is not accurate and reliable. Yeah, in this project. So when we go to our next slide, we are going to talk about the research gaps in the literature. So the first one, we will talk about lack of human-like understanding. Because here in the supervised and unsupervised learning techniques, yeah, we use statistical models and heuristics that may not capture the meaning. So this meaning, like you come up with a meaning, the human will come up with a meaning that the supervised and unsupervised techniques may not come up with the exact meaning as a human would come up with one. So when we fall to our next point is data-driven naturally. Yeah, most existing text summarization techniques are data-driven, meaning that they rely on large chunks of data. For example, supervised learning techniques. So without data, this information may not come out, or the technique may not summarize because it needs to learn with data. So when we go to our next point is lack of interpretability. So many unsupervised and unsupervised techniques such as the neural networks or black box models that are difficult to implement and understand. So these techniques are hard to implement and understand Yeah, because for example, the methodologies of the supervised and unsupervised may come up with some information that cannot be interpreted by a human, but the machine can interpret it. So this is why they're called the black box models. So when we go to our next slide, we're going to talk about how this project has affected or how this project has managed to hinder the occurrences like the lack of interpretability and the data-driven nature. So here, our model we came up with in this project is more interpretable and explainable. So it can capture more meaning and the context of the text. Yeah. So when we fall to our next point is uh, large and high quality training data set that we use to train and evaluate the text summarization model. So here in our project, we used the BBC text summarization dataset. So it came with a lot of information because the BBC carries a lot of information world over. So this makes it more accurate and increases the performance of the model. So when we go to our next point is we explore the new and the more advanced machine learning algorithm, such as the deep learning algorithm. So here we used the advanced methods of neural networks. So these bring out more understanding and more interpretation of the text. So this makes it more accurate and more interpretable. So when we move to our next slide, we are talking about the dataset description. So in our dataset description, we use the extractive summarization, which is one where the extracted extract sentences presented in a document are used as summaries. So this dataset, as I said the previous slide, is the PBS news text summarization dataset. So this dataset carries over 2,225 documents. Yes, these were collected between 2004 and 2005. Yes, for more information, you can follow through to that link, via that link, to know more about this dataset. So, when we move on to our next slide, we are talking about exploratory data analysis that we used in this dataset. First, we read the data from the selected dataset, that is the BBC News dataset. So, and the next, we came up with our preprocessing. So, some processes we used in this preprocessing is to remove the punctuations in the dataset. So, we focus on the words with much more ease. So, then we remove the stop words. The stop words are is, are, so that the information may have more significant meaning. Then we plotted box plots and pie charts to visualize the distribution of the classes that we have in our dataset. Yes. So in the next slide, we are going to show you these are this is a pie chart of the distribution, and then these are the words, the length of the text in each class that is shown in the pie chart. Yes. So here we are going to talk about the AI model selection and optimization. So in the AI model selection and optimization, we use the natural language toolkit model. So in the natural language toolkit model, here we split the text into words, and then we count the frequency of each of these words, and then we count how many times the word appears in the text, and then we store it into the word frequency dictionary. So when we split these words, we then find out the importance of each word in the text, and then this is found by adding up the frequencies of each of the words in the sentence. So here we are going to go to our next methodology we use is the genism model. So in the genism model, we use a frequency frequency vectors, and the cinematics of the document. So in this, we analyze the concurrent summary, so it can be generated from the document. So when we fall through to the Pegasus, so this Pegasus model works in a way that it retrains itself to output the important sentences, which is helpful in the abstract summarization. So here in the Pegasus, the model trains itself to derive the important sentences from the text and then stores them. So so when you go to the specie, this specie is similar, it's quite similar to the natural language toolkit model, but the specie uses object-oriented approach where it returns the strings and lists of strings as output. So when you go to the graph, this graph distributes the words. This model distributes for the distributed word representation uses vectors. So it maps the words into a nice vector space where similar words in terms of cinematics are clustered together, but different words repel. So next slide. Yeah, here we are going to talk about the conclusion. So in our conclusion, we found out that this project is potentially important to the world and to our country. Yeah, it is efficient and accurate. Gives efficient and accurate information processing in various domains. So this paper, this project explored and evaluated various techniques for text summarization and assessed their performance on the different types of text data. So in the end, we believe that the text summarization AI project has the potential to make significant contribution to the field of natural language processing and information retrieval by developing efficient or effective and robust text summarization system. We aim to help people efficiently process and understand large amounts of information and improve the efficiency and accuracy of decision-making processes.